Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the stage the Stavros Niarchos Foundation Executive Board Member, Ambassador Vasilis Kaskarelis, and Senior Program Officer for Strategy and Initiative, Stelios Vasilakis.
Okay. Excellencies, House representatives, distinguished guests, dear friends. I'm very happy to join all of you, friends and colleagues, once again here in Washington. I still remember the first OHI Day event organized by Andrew and Mike back in 2010. At the time, it was a challenging but promising initiative. After 5 years, it can be counted among the really respected events on the DC. Congratulations to both of you and your colleagues. I would like also to thank Andy and Mike on behalf of the board of our foundation, and especially our co-president Andreas Drakopoulos, who unfortunately was not able, due to other commitments, to join us here tonight, for organizing the celebration of the Greek National OHI Day in Washington. Last year, Andreas explained vividly the uniqueness and the significance of the word Philotimo and the importance of the Stavros Niarchos Foundation Philotimo Award, which we are very happy to continue to energetically support. By 2010, Greece was well into one of its worst post-war socio-economic crises. As a result of the crisis, we witnessed a very sudden and dramatic increase in poverty across Greece. Unemployment had skyrocketed, leading to an unprecedented number of Greeks seeking welfare support and the total population receiving some form of aid, whether food, shelter, clothing, school supplies, medical assistance, pharmaceuticals, in Greece's major urban centers, Athens and Thessaloniki, was rising at an alarming rate. The situation found many Greeks unprepared and unable to cope with their new circumstances, leading to a deterioration of living conditions and a sharp increase in homelessness. Today, 5 years into the crisis, the problem unfortunately persists. Unemployment in Greece remains alarmingly high at 24.6% at the end of the second quarter of 2015. According to official figures, 36% of Greeks live below the poverty line. 52% of households can't afford sufficient heating during the winter, and 51% are unable to keep up with mortgage repayments. What is perhaps even more worrying, though, is that we witness a lack of state and philanthropy welfare programs able to address these issues in a substantial and effective manner. In 2012, the co-president of our foundation, Andreas Drakopoulos, especially concerned with the effect of the Greek socio-economic crisis has had on our fellow citizens, proposed to elevate the handling of the negative effects of the crisis as the top priority of our foundation. In this context, our board decided to commit, during the past 3 years, over $370 million, in addition to our normal annual grant making, to help the neediest weather the crisis. Among our most important grants is the anti-poverty program, run in an exemplary manner by PRAKSIS, tonight's honoree. At this point, I will pass the floor to the Director of Programs and Strategic Initiatives of the Foundation, Stelios Vasilakis, who will present to you the award in more details. Thank you. Stelios, the floor is yours.
Good evening. Distinguished guests, dear friends, it is a great pleasure and honor to be here tonight to present the second annual Stavros Niarchos Foundation Philotimo Award. On behalf of the Foundation's Board of Directors, as well as all of my colleagues that are here tonight, I would like to thank Andrew and Mike Manatos as well for establishing this important annual forum that recognizes and honors extraordinary individuals and deeds within the context of one of modern Greece's most remarkable historical moments, that of October 28th. A lot of time and ink has been utilized to describe the uniqueness of the concept of Philotimo and the impossibility of translating or capturing effectively its essence in another language. Tonight, however, although I do not dispute any of the above, I want to make sure at the same time that everyone here understands clearly why we're about to honor PRAKSIS and Mr. Giannetos Antipas with the second annual Stavros Niarchos Foundation Philotimo Award. When we talk about Philotimo in the three-dimensional space of love for mankind, we talk about decency, dignity, and dedication. Decency, dignity, and dedication of the type that empowers individuals with the will not just to help others, but to compassionately devote their days reaching out and supporting those in the margins of society, those so destitute that are essentially invisible to the rest of us. It is decency, dignity, and compassion that one sees when experiences firsthand all the work that PRAKSIS does, whether helping the homeless or HIV-positive individuals, immigrants, unaccompanied minors, or simply families pushed to the edge by everyday realities in Greece. The world of philanthropy is a binary one. On one side, we have foundations, small, medium, and large ones, whose means provide for and support so many different important causes and so many people in need. And on the other side, we have NGOs, the recipients of the other side's generosity, whose work on the ground makes everything possible. The light tends to shine brighter on those with the means most of the time. But it is all those that do the hard work on the ground that allow the lights to be turned on at the first place. The Philotimo Award was created for all those, then, not in order to make them shine brighter, but in order to magnify the extent of their humanity. It is with great sense of honor, gratitude, and appreciation that all of us at the Stavros Niarchos Foundation present Giannetos Antipas and his colleagues at PRAKSIS with the second annual Stavros Niarchos Foundation Philotimo Award. And I would like to invite all of them to share the stage. Take one more minute out of your time. Now, social housing, it's one of PRAKSIS's most important and most innovative for Greece programs. The program has been supported by the Foundation from the very beginning, its inception in 2012, and is intended to help families under the poverty line in Greece to stay in their homes. The program provides financial support, educational support, nutritional support, training for people to get jobs, mental and health assistance to all these families so that they can stay at their houses. Since the beginning of the program, 4,750 families have benefited in Greece. The program works at the core of the fight against poverty and the crisis in Greece today. And today, this morning, the Foundation's Board of Directors, recognizing the groundbreaking work that PRAKSIS has done in Greece with the program and in other forms, it's honored and delighted to announce a grant of €5,700,000 to PRAKSIS to continue the program. It is intended for 2 years, and it aims to help 2,000 additional families. Thank you for all the hard work that you do. You make us all proud.
Your Excellencies, members of Congress, fellow honorees, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. The pleasure and honor I feel for receiving this award are making the words just symbols, whose meaning pales in comparison to the depth of my feeling today. The invitation from the OHI Foundation to PRAKSIS, which I have the honor to represent, to receive the Philotimo Awards from the Stavros Niarchos Foundation, signifies both a recognition and a great responsibility. A responsibility toward humanity, for our fellow man, and for the groups that we care for, who are isolated and excluded from every form of medical and social protection. From 2004 until today, PRAKSIS tried to give valuable life answers to our fellow men who often told us, "I don't worry only about my survival. I worry for my children as well. I cannot look them in the eyes and give them the same sense of dignity that my own father gave to me." The word Philotimo, my dear colleagues, which I translated here for you as honor, as you already know, is a Greek word which does not exist in any foreign language, neither can it be translated into a single word. Philotimo is the way in which the Stavros Niarchos Foundation gives assistance to the efforts and projects, such as those that PRAKSIS organizes. In Athens and Thessaloniki, with the 2 polyclinic as our core programs, we continued all these years the difficult and complex work of providing medical care, legal counseling, labor counseling, and psychosocial support to economically and socially excluded populations. More than 120,000 people per year in 500,000 sessions receive all of our services. In an annual basis, 600 volunteers are operating with PRAKSIS on Greek soil. Our mobile units are present in the northern borders of Greece and in Aegean Islands, Mytilene, Leros, Samos, and Kos. We provide first reception, medical assistance, basic health products, clothes, hygiene kits, and dry food to third country nationals. These past 5 months, we have already helped more than 200,000 immigrants and refugees. With mobile testing units, we provide for free the rapid test for HIV, hepatitis B, and hepatitis C. In an annual basis, we test and offer face-to-face consultancy to more than 10,000 people. In the meantime, through our hotline, we provide anonymously information for sexual transmitted diseases to more than 15,000 people per year, and we urge scholars to get tested. We operate the PRAKSIS Drop-in Center in Patras, which is an open center for reception, support, and protection for unaccompanied minors. Many times, these children follow a path of slavery and trafficking for which Greece is a transit point, while the port of Patras has become the exit portal for the European dream. From August 2011 until now, we have already protected more than 2,000 unaccompanied minors. Furthermore, PRAKSIS operates 3 accommodation centers to shelter, protect these children, 1 in Patras and 2 in Athens. At the same time, we undertake with strength and vision to fundamentally change at national and European level the policies that affect the fortunes of our beneficiaries. Our activity in the field of advocacy gives us power and visualization. This act of recognition that we receive today with great emotion from the Stavros Niarchos Foundation crosses over the Greek border and arrives in the United States of America, here where surely the word Philotimo touches hearts and souls after invigorating the Greek and Philhellenic pulse. Today, our Greek society has inherited a new population who live without work, without shelter, without salary, without legal status, without medicines and medical care, without family, without any form of subsidy, without dignity, without a future, without the obvious things that make us human. In the Greece of today, my dear colleagues, a new class has been created, the ones without a tomorrow. For these people, the strength of PRAKSIS have met with the willpower of Stavros Niarchos Foundation, and we are formulating the innovative program Synstoplin. This is a program with 2 axes, one of intervention and one of prevention. For the intervention side, Synstoplin drastically alleviates the homeless populations in Athens, in Thessaloniki, and in Piraeus. From March 2012 until now, more than 7,800 homeless, out of which 32% rough sleepers, have received services in our day centers in more than 170,000 visits. From the preventative side, we deal with the average Greek family that completely and suddenly found itself idle, unemployed, and incapable of facing the burdens and obligations that the systemic consumer society model has imposed on it. In essence, through this program, we are trailing the minimum guarantee income that should exist in Greece, as it already applies in the majority of the European member states. Greece, instead, continues to weigh the populations in terms of poverty levels. Social workers, occupational consultants, financial associates, and lawyers deal with families who are at risk of becoming homeless. We don't only strengthen these families through funds to face their daily essential family expenses, but primarily we attempt to retrain and reintegrate them into the open labor market. While some think that this is a utopia, in a Greece which registers 1,000 unemployed workers on a daily basis, at PRAKSIS we make it a reality. From the beginning of the program, we dealt with more than 10,000 applications of families, and we had the opportunity of giving full benefit and support to almost 4,700 families. 61% of our beneficiaries were back in the labor market, while 75% dealt with their debts or managed to redeem them. In Greece today, poverty and need don't discriminate against race, religion, social class, ethnic identity, or sex. There is no distinction because hunger is the same for all people. Besides, it seems to all of them, Greek or not, no society supports them and no homeland embraces them. And in this way, even the obvious concepts of dignity, pride, and solidarity need redefining. At this critical turning point and circumstance, we saw the Stavros Niarchos Foundation hit these needs and try to cultivate and rebuild what is threatened and what has been lost. With social actions and cultural awareness and orientation, the Foundation tries to contain and create opportunities and safety nets for people at risk of social ruin. The trust and support of Stavros Niarchos Foundation, which over the years has developed towards the activities of PRAKSIS, give us the strength to continue our difficult and demanding task. At this moment, once again, the words of the legendary Melina Mercouri in the role of Ilia in the film Never on Sunday runs through my mind, and they all live happily, and they all go to the seashore. I can tell you with certainty the reason I wanted to talk to you about Never on Sunday. Perhaps because on the occasion of the famous queue that hangs around in my head days now, I thought for many of us the beach is almost always a powerful antidepressant, a refreshing medicine. Perhaps because the story of Vilya reminds me, especially today, on the occasion of this award, that in the end, we always have the right to choose, that all people can place themselves either on the beach of their microcosm of their individual prosperity, or in the more challenging beach of solidarity and giving. This option forces us to abandon our cosmic seclusion and put us in very close contact to another. So close that sometimes this contact can hurt, but the warmth from that contact and coexistence, believe me, in the end reward us. This award, which the Ochi Foundation and Stavros Niarchos Foundation has honored us with, this humble ceremony organized brilliantly by the Ochi Foundation, is not only the reward for the hard work in the uncharted waters of poverty and hardship that PRAKSIS overcomes. At the same time, it is the prologue for a promise and commitment. With your support and inspiration, we will always be present and ready to offer relief and solidarity to every human who suffers. We are ready to keep up with our commitments, transforming them into PRAKSIS with Philotimo to humanity. Thank you. We have already prepared a short film in order to give you the ability to see PRAKSIS fieldwork, and at the end of this event, you will receive at the exit USBs with PRAKSIS material, so you will have the opportunity to see and to look after our activities. Thank you.